Guys, I'm so proud of all of you, by the way. I think a round of applause to all the kids that presented today. Oh my gosh. Like, I wish I got to see every one of your guys' presentation and the ideas you guys have. When I was in grade 10 or grade 12, someone came up to me and asked me, you want to be doing something like this? I'd be like, geez, do I look like a nerd or something? That's exactly what I would have said. Like I would have automatically came to the conclusion that it's for like loners and nerds. And you know what? That's exactly what you guys are. Like, really, that's exactly what you guys are, and that's exactly what every entrepreneur is. Like, you have no idea, like, being an entrepreneur, like, it gets lonely at times. You're in your own world, you're trying to survive on your own based off your own efforts. You're a loner, you gotta make it all yourself, right? And then, man, I'm probably the biggest nerd. All I do is think numbers all day. All right, what's the numbers coming in? How much do I gotta pay out? What's my marketing strategy, my sales strategy? You know, what's my top 3 selling items? What's my bottom 3? What adjustments do I have to make? That's some serious math I gotta do, right? So I'm probably the biggest nerd in this room. So get ready, you guys are a bunch of loners and nerds and you're gonna change the world, so get ready for that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little story about myself. Yeah, when I was back in grade 9, grade 10, I got into cars heavily with my dad, build cars in the shop and whatnot, so that's when the car thing came into my life. Going from there, grade 11 came around and it was time to apply for university, and I had no idea what I wanted to do, and my mom was just like, why don't you do engineering? If you love cars, go engineering. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I literally just turned around the computer, applied to 5 universities, and I got accepted to one of the 5. I got accepted to Ryerson University, and it was an early acceptance, and they gave me like a bare minimum requirement to make sure that, like, in grade 12, you gotta get like 60 in English or 70 in math or whatever. And I got the bare minimum. Like, I was like, sweet, I'm in, just get the 60, get the 70, and boom, we're golden. So I did that, and then going in the first year of university, my first semester, I got a bunch of D's, an F. I got put on probation, and I'm just like, oh damn, that's not good. So the university told me, they're like, all right, you can't get on probation anymore. You can't get on probation. You got to get a certain grade point average, or else you're getting kicked out of school. So something triggered in my head. I'm like, all right, cool. So I turned it around. I didn't get on probation again, and my next 2 years was getting C's and B's. And then my 4th year, something happened, and I ended up getting A's, but so that worked out. But the point is, like, I was just kind of getting the bare minimum to get by, right? And I know the parents are like, no, don't tell them that. Like, tell them to get straight A's. Like, you don't tell them you got the bare minimum, right? But the message that I'm going to try to send to you guys here is that you have to succeed at what you're doing currently today. That's what you have to focus on, because here's the reality: you have no idea where you're going to end up. You have no clue, so focus on your success today. Whatever you're in now and whatever you're planning for the future, the bare minimum, just succeed at it. Because I'll tell you something, some people didn't get accepted to university. Some people did get that early acceptance letter and then didn't meet the requirements for the following year. Some people made it to first semester and then dropped out. Some people got on probation and didn't get off of it. Some people, instead of taking them 4 years to do an engineering program, it took them 5, 6, 7, and 8. So when I tell people, you know, I did it all in the time period I'm supposed to do, and they look at me like I'm a great success, but really I just met like the bare minimum. I focused, I said, you know what? I'm gonna just succeed at what I'm doing. I'm gonna do everything I can to do that, and that's it. And overall, it was small victories that added up over time that ended up working in my favor. So the reason why I'm telling you is focus and just succeed at what you're doing today is because you have no clue where you're gonna end up. Because I got a job at Chrysler as an engineer right after I graduated. Two and a half years goes by. February 10th of this year, I quit and I started my own company. And that's it. I just dropped it because I realized it just wasn't for me. It was not for me. So this whole grand plan from when I was in grade 11, grade 10, you know, all right, I'm gonna be an engineer, I'm gonna work for a company. And I got it, I achieved it in 7 years. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, forget it, I don't like it. You know what I mean? It just wasn't for me, and I made a move. You know, let's get a show of hands here. For everyone who's been out of school 5 years or more, when you were in like grade 10 and you said you wanted to be something, if you are that current position today, put your hand up. We got 2, 3, 4, 5 out of a room of 100, 6 out of a room of 100, 6% of people Got that, right? So you can see the point that I'm making. Yes, there are the exceptions. If you actually want to be a doctor in grade 10, you become a doctor, good for you, and you love it, great. However, that may not happen for the remaining 94% of people. So what I want to say to you guys is you have to position yourself, okay? So the first step, you always got to just focus on succeeding in what you're doing. Just succeed, okay? Don't fail at anything. Then when it's time to work in life, you got to just assess, like, I have my own method of happiness, effort, and purpose. That's how I made my evaluation to make my big move to leave my engineering job. So how do I explain that? The effort that I put in, okay, remember I'm a nerd, right? So I'm gonna give you guys like a little axes, a little effort versus happiness versus purpose, right? I'm gonna put in a lot of effort. Everyone works really hard every day, right? However, there's certain results generated, and are you happy generating those results? Are you happy doing what you're doing with the amount of effort you're putting in? The 50-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks, 20-hour weeks, whatever number of hours it is, are you happy doing it? Now, you could be happy. I could sit and watch YouTube all day long, 80 hours a week and be happy, but what the hell is the point? I have no purpose in life, right? Makes sense. So you got to tie in those three elements. So wherever you end up, wherever you go, you're in university or you're graduating, you end up in a career, you got to think of your effort and are you happy and are you serving a purpose, okay? Do what you got to do to make it happen. From there, always position yourself, evaluate. You're working hard and that's no problem, but are you happy and is there even a point to doing what you're doing? And then from there, if you could connect the dots and take away from what you're currently doing to the next thing in the future, you guys are gonna dominate and you guys are gonna be just fine. And that's kind of my philosophy on life. Take it as a grain of salt, but that's how I'm living, and it's working out pretty good for a 25-year-old kid. So I got a long way ahead of me, and so do you guys. Again, congratulations to all of you. I'm so proud of every single one of you guys. You guys are the best loners and the best nerds I've ever met, and I hope to see you guys in the future. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone.